The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Mariah Copeland is finally stepping into a moment that could define the rest of her life. For weeks, she has been drowning in guilt, confusion, and emotional exhaustion, unsure whether she deserved compassion or punishment. Now, as her legal situation unfolds, she finds herself standing at a crossroads, one that offers help instead of a prison sentence, even if part of her still believes she should be locked away for what she has done. The judge's decision brings a mix of relief and turmoil. Mariah's plea deal is approved, granting her probation along with mandatory time in a psychiatric facility. It is a decision rooted in understanding rather than strict retribution, an acknowledgement that her actions came from a deeply unstable mental state rather than cold calculation. Still, that doesn't quiet the voice inside her that insists she should pay a harsher price. Mariah cannot escape the memory of what happened. The kidnapping of Dominic Winters continues to replay in her mind, not as a clear sequence of events but as fragments of fear, desperation, and distorted reality. She remembers the overwhelming urge to protect him, even though she now understands that what she did was wrong. At the time, however, her thoughts had twisted into something unrecognizable, convincing her that she was doing what was necessary. Her mental decline had been gradual, almost invisible at first. Small anxieties grew into overwhelming fears, and before long, those fears manifested into something far more disturbing. The visions of Ian Ward were the most alarming sign. They felt real, too real. His presence haunted her, whispering lies and feeding her paranoia until she could no longer separate truth from illusion. Looking back, Mariah can see how far she had fallen. She had not been herself, not even close. The woman who took Dominic was someone driven by fear and delusion, not the loving, rational person her family and friends knew. That realization offers a small measure of comfort, but it does not erase the consequences of her actions. Even now, with the hallucinations gone, Mariah doesn't feel whole. There is a lingering sense of fragility, as if her mind could betray her again at any moment. That is why the psychiatric facility represents more than just a legal requirement, it is a lifeline. For the first time, she is willing to admit that she cannot fix this on her own. The memory of her previous treatment in Boston still lingers, casting a shadow over her hopes. That experience had left her feeling misunderstood and isolated, as if no one truly grasped the depth of what she was going through. It had not been the safe place she needed, and instead of healing, she had come away feeling even more disconnected. This time has to be different. Mariah knows that if she is going to move forward, she must fully commit to the process. She must be honest, even when it is painful. She must confront the darkest parts of her experience and allow others to help her make sense of it. It is not an easy path, but it is the only one that offers a chance at real recovery. There is a quiet determination growing within her, something that had been missing during her lowest moments. She is tired of running from her fears, from her guilt, and from the people who care about her. Instead of pushing them away, she wants to find a way back to them, even if it takes time. Still, the road ahead is far from simple. Healing does not erase what happened, and Mariah knows that not everyone will be able to forgive her. The damage she caused extends beyond herself, touching the lives of those she loves in ways that cannot be undone overnight. No one feels that more deeply than Abby Winters. For Abby, the memory of Dominic's disappearance is not something she can set aside. It is a wound that continues to ache, a reminder of the fear and helplessness she experienced when her child was taken from her. Every second of that ordeal is etched into Abby's mind. The panic, the uncertainty, the desperate search for answers, it all comes rushing back whenever she thinks about Mariah. It is not just about what happened, it is about how it made her feel, vulnerable, powerless, angry. That anger has not faded. If anything, it has hardened into something more enduring. Abby understands on some level that Mariah was not in her right mind. She knows that mental illness played a significant role in what happened, but understanding does not equal forgiveness. Abby has already made her stance clear. She does not want Mariah anywhere near Dominic. It is not a decision she made lightly, but it is one she feels is necessary to protect her child. Trust, once broken in such a profound way, is not easily restored. The idea that Mariah might avoid prison only complicates Abby's emotions further. Part of her recognizes that treatment is the more appropriate path, that locking Mariah away would not address the underlying issues. but another part of her cannot shake the feeling that justice has not been fully served. When Abby hears the news about the plea deal, she is likely to feel a surge of conflicting emotions: relief that Mariah will receive help, frustration that there will be no harsher punishment, and beneath it all, a lingering resentment that refuses to disappear. It is a complicated emotional landscape, one that does not offer easy answers. Abby is not a cruel person and she does not wish suffering on Mariah, but she also cannot ignore the impact of what happened. The fear she felt was real and it changed something inside her. As Mariah prepares to enter the psychiatric facility, she knows that repairing her relationship with Abby will be one of the greatest challenges she faces. It is not something that can be rushed or forced. It will require patience, consistency, and a willingness to accept that forgiveness may never fully come. For now, Mariah's focus must remain on her own recovery. She cannot control how others feel or how quickly they heal. All she can do is take responsibility for her actions and work toward becoming someone who would never repeat them. Her marriage to Tessa Porter is another piece of her life that hangs in the balance. Tessa has stood by her through the darkest moments, offering support even when it was difficult, but the strain has been undeniable. Love can endure a lot, but it is not immune to the weight of trauma and uncertainty. Mariah hopes that by getting the help she needs, she can begin to rebuild what has been shaken. She wants to be present again to be the partner Tessa deserves, but she knows that hope alone is not enough. It will take effort, honesty, and time. As the days pass and the reality of her situation settles in, Mariah begins to see this moment not just as a consequence, but as an opportunity, a chance to confront the truth about what happened, a chance to understand herself in a way she never has before. It is not the path she would have chosen, but it may be the one she needs. The transition into the psychiatric facility is not easy for Mariah. The unfamiliar environment, the structured routines, and the constant awareness that she is there because of what she did all weigh heavily on her. Yet beneath the discomfort, there is a quiet sense of purpose. This is where her healing begins. The first days are the hardest. Opening up to strangers about her thoughts and experiences feels daunting. There is a vulnerability in admitting just how far she lost control, in describing the hallucinations and the fear that drove her actions. But with each session, it becomes a little easier. The professionals working with her approach her case with care and understanding. They do not excuse what happened, but they do not judge her either. Instead, they focus on helping her piece together the puzzle of her mental state, identifying the triggers and patterns that led to her breakdown. For the first time, Mariah begins to feel truly seen, not as a criminal, not as a victim, but as a person who needs help. It is a subtle shift, but a powerful one. She starts to recognize the warning signs she had ignored before: the growing anxiety, the intrusive thoughts, the isolation. Each realization is painful but also empowering. Knowledge gives her a sense of control she did not have before. Outside the facility, life continues, and the ripple effects of Mariah's actions are still being felt. Abby remains firm in her decision to keep Dominic away from Mariah. It is not something she revisits lightly, even as time passes. There are moments when Abby questions herself, when she wonders if she is being too harsh, if she should allow for the possibility of change, but those moments are quickly overshadowed by the memory of what happened. The fear is too strong, the trust too broken. Even so, Abby cannot completely ignore the fact that Mariah is seeking help. There is a part of her that respects the effort, that hopes it will make a difference, but respect does not erase the boundaries she has set. Tessa finds herself caught in the middle of it all. She wants to support Mariah to believe in her recovery, but she also understands Abby's perspective. It is a delicate balance, one that requires empathy and patience. As weeks turn into months, progress begins to show. Mariah becomes more grounded, more self-aware. The chaotic thoughts that once consumed her are replaced with a clearer sense of reality. It is not a perfect transformation, but it is a meaningful one. She begins to think about the future, about what comes next. The idea of reconnecting with Dominic is both hopeful and terrifying. She knows that it may never happen, that Abby may never feel comfortable allowing it, but she also knows that she has to try, even if the answer is no. When the time comes for her eventual release, Mariah steps back into the world with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. She is not the same person she was before, but perhaps that is not a bad thing. She is stronger in some ways, more aware, more cautious. Rebuilding her life will take time. Rebuilding trust will take even longer. Her relationship with Tessa begins to heal slowly, strengthened by honest conversations and a renewed commitment to each other. It is not without challenges, but there is a shared determination to move forward. As for Abby, the distance remains. There is no immediate reconciliation, no sudden change of heart, but there is a subtle shift, a willingness to acknowledge that Mariah is trying, that she is no longer the person who caused so much pain. It is a small step, but it matters. Mariah understands that this is a journey without guarantees. She may never fully regain the trust she lost. She may always carry the weight of what she did, but she is no longer defined solely by her worst moment. Instead, she is defined by what she does next. And for the first time in a long while, that feels like something she can face. If you enjoy Y&R spoilers, updates, and daily drama, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.